Well, good afternoon, Church. You already put me in a bad position by having me speak after these two distinguished women. So what am I going to say? I'm lost for words. Except I agree with everything they said. But thank you, Bishop Ramming, Reverend gentlemen, the family, the boys, Mr. and Mrs. Burrows. It's been a long and busy morning and day, and a difficult couple of weeks in Fox Hill, because we've buried so many iconic figures in the last month. And I see some of the faces of those who have lost their loved ones who we buried a short time ago. This morning, I was able to join the family of the Davises at St. Anne's, and I've just come from the Hepburn family from the Eastwood neighborhood who buried their daughter this morning. There's another funeral this afternoon at 1 at St. Anselm's. There was a funeral yesterday. And it reminded me, of course, of when I first came to Fox Hill over 30 years ago. And the late George Mackey was introducing me to the various families in the community. And one of the things he said is, on Saturdays, make sure that you have your day reserved, because that is one of the most important days of the week in Fox Hill. And I remembered that lesson. And I smiled a bit when Chanel said that her brother Danny was following her around in Fox Hill, because I was wondering why. But I thought he was still trying to overcome that story that he told that he could beat Julian Francis at tennis. He'll tell you about that story later. But Mr. and Mrs. Burrows, Philippa, who I've worked with for a long time, who is a standard bearer at the Fox Hill Community Center, works overtime, assiduously, puts in so many hours, undervalued, underpaid, but a good example of what hard work is. And I was therefore honored to have been asked to say these few words this afternoon, and to also say how pleased I was, because Mrs. Burrows, I've got to tell you, when I visited with Mr. Burrows, that is the first time I've ever been in that house where he was the only one in the house. I've never seen this. This was remarkable. And we had, must be a half an hour, 45 minutes, for him to tell me all the stories, so I'll let you know what he told me about you, Philippa. But you got to appreciate how much he loved his family and his children and cared for his wife and the wider family. So it is important for us, as you look around the church, and the whole community is here to support you. It's difficult in times of death to find the words which actually can bring comfort, because, particularly for young people, someone who you love, who brought you into the world, has now disappeared. And what do? You can be angry, you can be sad, you can cry all the tears you want, but the fact is, she's gone. And the question is, what do we do going forward? Well, one of the things you can do for your mom is to succeed in this life, to manage your own affairs the way she would have wanted you to do, to love your family, to help take care of your grandparents, to take care of your aunts, to take care of all the wider family of which you are a part, and to set a good example for those who come after you. I'm sure you're up to that task. And as I look at all the people who are so beautifully arrayed here today, it gives the expression of love and support for a woman who, at the age of 49, has gone too soon, but lived a good life, a good legacy she leaves behind, one which you are proud of, of which we are all proud. And I'm happy to be able to say this afternoon, therefore, on behalf of all the constituents of the Fox Hill constituency, of the Fox Hill Village, in the presence of our President of the Senate and all the reverend gentlemen and ladies who are arrayed here today and the wider community, our heartfelt condolences on her passing. May she rest in peace, and we shall see her again. Bless you.
Come on, lift your hands and shout hallelujah. Hallelujah. Thank you.